Hello, Max. Out of a breadcrumb. How are you doing?
Yeah, good yourself.
Mate, I'm fucking caked in that stuff, aren't I still?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 2 fucking weeks.
flipping heck.
Nightmare
Have they've
virus.
given out for you yet, or anything? They've done.
Got to see a
You know what I mean?
dermatologist. Got to see a dermatologist. Either way, I've just got to stick to times to put it on and all that crap and drink this and take that. It's all a load of shite. Right, how are you anyway?
Yeah, I'm good. Bit knackered, bit tired.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, new job down St Albans near London. Got well, obviously got my house still here in Scarborough, but I'm living mainly down in near well, actually Luton. So yeah, so it's been a bit of
What
change for me.
what are you doing for boxing then, Max? Are you packing it in now then and retiring?
Uh, well, no, not exactly.
You're
If I
putting
was going
division
to do
on
it,
notice, Max.
if I was going to do it, obviously because you know how Julian is. He's packed in himself and he's had enough of it. But the thing is I wanted to find someone on the same sort of caring level and empathy level as him. So they're not doing it for a pound note. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and they've got my welfare at heart. You know what I'm saying? They're not just going to chuck me in. Yeah, they've got. I want them to say, "Look, Max, he's going to be too much for you. Not fighting him." Blah blah blah. I want that sort of go for, and that's what you guys really taught me. You and Jules,
Nick
staying in your own
Manners,
lane.
Nick Gutton, Nick Manners. He's trustworthy.
Yeah, no, yeah. But if I was in this area, yes, I was. But in Luton, I can't because it's too much a distance. So I've started with a guy called James Conway. He's Kieran Conway's dad.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so I just got to remain. I can't say too much about Matchroom, the full of Matchroom there.
Oh, Max.
So
We'll not go down that route, Max, will we? The Adventures of Tintin. Big John Fury, big fighting man, in the ring or on the soft sand. What do you think to me voice? It's really gruffy, makes me feel hard. Right, Big John, what do you reckon to him, Max, last few weeks?
wow, he's been a bit. Do you know what it is? The carrying off on there when he did when it was Fury Nagano. The carrying off he was doing. I mean, he was getting his top off, the face off, and stuff like that. Why do you need to get involved, John? Why do you need to get involved? You know, it's almost like he wants to be Tyson. That's the thing with him. Don't make sense, does it?
No, no. Do you think he'll ever have a fight, Max?
Well, we can dick Mickey Theo out and see if he goes silent or not, John, can't we?
Yeah, he'll not fight Mick, will he?
No, he went missing for what? How many months did you keep him like for?
16 month, I silenced him. Me and Mick, we couldn't get a peek
Yeah.
at him.
There we go. So that's enough said. So that's what say we'd say not even a person with the experience of boxing. He went running who wanted it. You know,
Yeah.
Mick said yes, please. And what did John do? He just filled his nappy.
Yeah.
That's
What
it.
about Crusher Ben? Is he going to get a license? Is he going to knock anybody out? Because he didn't knock that last guy out, did he?
The thing is with Conor Benn, there's always going to be a pound note there. There's always going to be money, and all the time he's not going to be knocking people out. The audience are there, and this is what annoys me, and I think this annoys you, Russ, as well. Any narrative that Eddie Hearn puts out there, the normal man in the street believes it. So, like they tried to do with, oh yeah, yeah, the boxing board has cleared him, or the body's cleared to fight. All of a sudden, there's a narrative of him. Oh yeah, he's clean, he's cleared. So he will fight, and I think there will be a ban coming, but it would have started last year, so you'll probably have only 6 months to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're putting 18-month ban on. It's ridiculous, and this is why he hasn't boxed in the UK. But what gets me as well, the grubbiness of it, he's allowed to box in Orlando or where it was, or wherever it was. And someone, when he got, I think he got, was it that journeyman done him in York Hall that time? Is a guy who's not much, a few levels above him, and he's not much, better than him, and yet Conor Benn struggled to get him out of there. So, if you're looking at those sort of gyms, and especially the Conor Benn's gym he was in, if you're going down that route, you look at all of them there. Felix Cash, he's been quiet, isn't he?
Yeah.
Joe Cordina. Yeah, you see the trend here.
Well, he's just
Something
fought
to do with that gym.
Cordina.
So again,
Cordina's just fought.
yeah, but my point, yeah, but what I mean is was it a knockout? I can't remember if it was a knockout or not.
You mean he was quiet for a bit, wasn't he? He wasn't.
Yeah, it was
He wasn't
quiet for a
active.
long time.
Him and Felix Cash weren't active, but they've not failed any
Exactly.
tests, so we can't say anything, can we?
No, but you see that I mean, there's a trend there. Suddenly like, oh, we don't want to get our hands burnt or our fingers burnt either. So there's something to do with that gym they're in.
Max,
Is
Max. Right. Ergovic
yeah,
is fighting Demori. That's a
yeah.
knockout for him. What do you think about the rumours that the IBF are going to strip the winner and it's of the undisputed, and it's going to be vacant, and it's going to be Ergovic and winner of Joshua Wallin? What do you think to that?
It hottens it up. It's a bit tight, isn't it? Considering if you look at the other governing bodies, look at Tyson Fury, WBC. Should he be stripped?
No, but they did it before IBF, didn't they? That's how Charlie Martin got the belt. Point I'm trying to make is the route's there for Joshua not to even fight Wilder in it now. They're all talking Joshua Wilder, but I think they're going to swerve Wilder. I'll go for Ergovic for IBF, me.
Well, if that's the case, shame on them because, I mean, Joshua, Jarrell Miller. I mean, I don't know if you saw the press conference on the day of reckoning. Jarrell Miller, he hit the nail on the head. He said, Joshua, fight someone with a heartbeat and man fuck up. Excuse my French. So, if I'm honest, Jarrell Miller's narrative there was right. He needs to fight. And I think, to be fair, Wallin, wouldn't you say Wallin is his riskiest fight of late? Because Wallin's no mark, is he?
No.
Now, he gave Fury all sorts of problems. I mean, that Fury fight.
He just beat Garcia.
If that was it. This is what I mean. So he's he's a handful. And he could overwhelm Joshua. And it shows when he gets up close, he gets overwhelmed. So, this is a risky fight, but this is also Eddie Hearn thinking, right, we've got to roll the dice here. We have to roll the dice, and it's either shit or bust, really. So, it's a tough one. He needs to get all his investment back. So, that Saudi card is annoying in a way because there's the fighters are on there, but it's not necessarily the fights we want. You get what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think about Ungano getting the top 10 ranking at WBC, Max?
It's disgraceful. And he lost. So, it's the same with like Jake Paul getting a ranking, isn't it? After Tommy Fury, so it's the same sort of thing. And Nagano, all the props to him, because I don't care what the Fury fans think, he did beat Fury. I thought he beat Fury. And it pains me to say that because I don't want these crossover fights. Fury looked frightened in there. So if I'm honest, I think it's disgraceful that he's getting a top 10 ranking because there's fighters at area level, well, I wouldn't say area, British level, going to European, can't even get in the top 10. So why is he getting in there?
Do you think Johnny Fisher would beat him?
Yeah, I think he would actually. I think he would. I don't think I see. You give Elmer thought we've got different opinions of this. I think Johnny Fisher's actually all right. I think he's decent. He'd be British level, at least. And how he fought Harry Armstrong. Harry Armstrong, I thought, came in a little bit unfit, but how Johnny fought, yeah, it was just like a ground out of traps. It just went at him. And I thought it was fantastic. So Thibaut's got him down to art. I think it will. Think he'll get a British title, and I like to see him against Dakaris. To be honest, Fisher,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. What do you think to Wilder Parker?
Joseph Parker, his best days are behind him, aren't they? Let's be honest. I think Joe Joyce has taken something out of him. That fight's taken something out of him. Although, give props to Parker. Parker performed well against Joe Joyce, but like Wilder needs to be good for 5 seconds, and you're out, and that's it. You saw that against Lewis Ortiz. You've seen that plenty. So you nearly saw that against Fury. It's an interesting fight, although it's not a given. It's not a given, and it's not a sort of landslide. Yeah, you would say it's 80, probably 20 or 70, 30. But with the right game goes on for, I think Parker has a slight chance. But if Wilder's got that same power there, inside 4 rounds, if I had to be a betting man, inside 4 rounds, Wilder's still formidable.
Yeah, what do you think to Eddie Hearn's slurping in Saudi?
It's strange, isn't it? We've said, and you've said plenty of times on this channel, we want to see the fights. Let's see them working together. And it was rumours that, but how quick did this happen? I mean, not really.
It took this for it to happen. If it didn't take this, we'd have never got anything, would we?
It's as a from a fan's point of view, it's whetted my appetite a little bit, because it's something you would tune into because you're wondering, like, how Dubois will get on against Miller. Could he beat Miller? Then you wonder, how long can Joseph Parker last for? We're not seeing the fights, because I'd like to see Wilder v Joshua, but I think they're trying to warm up to that. This Excellency Turkey guy, he's been smart with this, because he's basically said to Frank one, right, I've got about 90 million to spend. Okay. What can we do on 16, like with 16 fighters or an 8-fight card or whatever? And he says, yeah, okay. And obviously Fury was, you can't be trustworthy, or wasn't available. Or then obviously we found out Usyk v Fury's going to happen. So he needed a headliner another headline. So Joshua came into play. So Joshua's getting probably 8 or 9 million out of this, from the single fight. Wilder's probably getting the same. Then I had to fill up the card further down, didn't they? Effectively. So like, Lyndon Arthur's probably getting 2. You get, it's a lot of money to bet, and that's why it's signed so quick, because it's a chance of a lifetime for these fighters, aren't they? For the money, the pound note. And it's surprising how Eddie has to, work with Frank. And it's over a pound note, let's be honest, because we might not ever see this again.
Who got Lyndon Arthur in the collar?
I would have thought so, wouldn't he? Well, no, it would be Frank, wouldn't it? Because Frank's worked with Lyndon Arthur before, isn't he?
Lyndon went IBO, though, on Caller's channel, Channel 5.
Yeah, it might have been Caller, yeah. But still, I mean, and to be fair, there's going to be people out there saying, oh, Lyndon Arthur, he lost to Yard, or this, that, and the other. Well, he won and won against Yard, so that's 1-1, and he's got like a belt. So you could class it as a unification, can't you? So, I mean, let's be honest. Lyndon Arthur deserves this chance, I think. So good luck to him. Let's get behind him a little bit, and imagine if he could pull it off. Imagine if he did.
I hope he can. If Lyndon Arthur pulls that off, that's the shock of the year.
I agree.
If he pulls that off, he'll be fighter of the year if he does that, Lyndon Arthur.
And to be honest, Canelo can do it. I know, yeah, we say he's too big, Bivol and that. But Linda Arthur, he gets a good camp behind him, listens to Pat Barrett. There's no reason why he can't do an upset, and they'll fancy themselves to do an upset. Rightly so. They've done it with Yard, so why not?
Yeah, why not? What do you think to Miller Dubois?
Out of all the fighters on there, or the fights are matched up, I feel sorry for Daniel Dubois a little bit, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. I do think Daniel Dubois does suffer from something, maybe something. He's got maybe a touch of autism or something. It's not. This is not to sound rude or anything, because Frank helps him with the trash talking and all this stuff. But I just think they should have rebuilt him. They should have put in something like Jared Anderson in that sort of position. You know what I'm saying? Which would have made more sense. Daniel Dubois has come off a loss. His confidence is low. So, oh yeah, I know. Let's put him on a big stage again. Well, that's not going to help him, is it?
Dubois, he's not the shiniest coin in the till, is he?
No. He's likable. He's a lovely lad. But come on, Russ. I mean, what would you do if you were his manager? Would you say,
I'd
let's
do
put him back
exactly what they're doing. I'd say, listen, as soon as anybody puts it on him, his arsehole goes, so let's get what we can out of the job. That's what I'd say if I were his promoter, then we had dough invested on him, because if they put him in with somebody low level, it could happen again. And then where are they? So they might as well get what they can out of the job, aren't they?
Maybe. If I was trying, I'd say, could we have someone
what
step
would you
down?
do if you had a car and it only had like 2 or 3 races left in it? Would you want to risk it because you didn't know if engine were going to go at any time? Would you want to risk it in like just a low level race to get just a few quid to tick over and fuck it up forever, or would you want to put it in a big race and get paid?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's a roll of the dice thing. Okay, here's a question for you. Do you think Daiquiri's official would beat Daniel Dubois?
Not yet, not yet.
Yeah. Would you say Fabio Wardley beats Dubois?
I'd say that's a pick and fight, me, them two. Him and
I
Ward.
think Fabio Wardley's better than all of them. And I think Fabio Wardley should be on there. If I'm honest, if I was going to pick anyone, Jared Anderson.
What about Zhang and Wardley? You'd like to think that they'd be substitutes if anybody's injured, wouldn't you?
If anyone to see, this is the thing why Joshua disappointed me in their trash talking, right? If I was him, instead of talking about his mum and rent and stuff, I would have said to Miller, well, you concentrate getting past the VADA test in Miller, then we can talk. I would say stuff like that because if anyone's going to fail a test, it's going to be him, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what? I would have loved to see Jared Anderson on that. I really would have, because he's the next thing coming, isn't he? So, Dubois. But I mean, Dubois, we give him props because he can do it. He can fight. He fought a good version of Nathan Gorman at the time, which we have to give him props for. And to be honest with you, the longer that fight goes on for Jarrell Miller, the worse it is going to be for him because he's a 4-6 round fighter, isn't he? 4 round at best. He can do, yeah. And if he's throwing 80 punches like he says he is, he's on something. You can't be 25 stone and throw 80 punches. Not a chance.
Yeah, he's on them special shakes, isn't he?
Well, he's on the flex shakes.
Have you noticed how nobody's mentioning anything about drug testing in any of these presses? One reporter mentioned it to Bricktop and he went off at handle, didn't he?
Well, I mean, Bricktop, we've obviously slaughtered Eddie in like all the drugs tests. He's like 5, 6, 7. What about Tete? don't mention him anymore, do we?
What if Bricktop signs Jarrell Miller? Where does that leave him? Questioning Conor Benn every 2 minutes.
There we go. But then his argument will be, well, he hasn't tested positive on my watch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they're like politicians, Max, aren't they?
That's what I mean. So they're always moving the goalposts to suit them and the narrative to suit them. Especially with the December 23rd fight out there, and now the Fury and Usyk. It's all the goalposts has always changed. There's always a change up, but the sake of money. I mean, what do you think Fury and Usyk are getting for that fight each?
Probably 50 million Fury, probably 30 Usyk.
Not a bad day's work for either of them, is it?
No. Do you think that they can thank Spencer Brown and Tyson Fury and then for getting it all sorted amongst everybody, so they're all eating off at plate because Fury's pulled out December, so they're all feasting, aren't they, on what he's laid for the money, basically. He's done all heavy lifting, Fury, hasn't he? And Spencer Brown.
I think if you're going to thank anyone, I think you should thank Frank, because you're going to think of it. Look, if Frank wasn't in it, can you see His Excellency dealing with Eddie Earn?
No, I can't. You see, they're not. I don't think they're that up on Eddie. They need him for Joshua commercial, don't they? For views, don't they?
This is what I mean. See that you find even in different countries, China, Australia, the whole lot of them, when it comes down to business, older people, the older generation, when we're talking about older than even yourself, we're talking to 60s, and you've got another person equally 60 in another country, that you find some middle ground quite quick. Does that make sense? Within business, how you speak and the old school values, Now Eddie doesn't have that. He doesn't have those old school values, and you can't afford to be an old school. So he's got a bit of catching up, unfortunately. Hence why Frank can always remain resilient. If he hasn't got any fighters coming up, he finds a way. It's that old-fashioned thing with Frank. He doesn't scream, he schemes, doesn't he? He finds a way through always, and he's quite resilient in that way. So, Frank, he's in the driving seat there. A few people said to me, "Oh, he's only a little bit up on Eddie." No, I think he's in the driving seat. They'll go to him first. Well, what do you think, Frank? Because they like his company. They feel suited in his company, and there's a difference there. When you're suited and accepted, and especially we've got to think it's a very unique country. It's hard to even get in there or associate with them. And once you're in there, you're in there. Eddie's not, he's from the outside looking in, only from a Joshua point of view, and it was clear to see that at the press conference, if I was honest.
Yeah. What do you see happening if Big Meech loses to Wallin? Do you think he retires?
The only thing will happen from then on, they'll say, right, we'll have a rematch at Wembley. Make a big thing, and that'd be his get out clause.
Rematch again? What, Joshua?
Yeah, Wembley in England, to keep him relevant. That's the only way it will go if he loses.
He couldn't sell Wembley out if Wallin beats him, Max.
Wembley, whatever.
Hey?
Whatever. O2, whatever. Yeah, O2, 0-2, let's say then. Get him there, get a few under the undercard, and they have to do a masterclass of it. And if he loses again, that's him done. It'll have to be a rematch job in UK. That is the only way. It's way back for him. But it's right what Wallin was saying. He's declining. He's on the decline. And they're trying, and you've said it many times, Russ, on this channel, they're rinsing as much they can out of him. They're squeezing until it's dry. So, he seemed to be. If you look at, I mean, I like to look. I picked this from Julian. I like to look at body language now. I've picked this up to Julian. I always ask Julian a prediction, and I put a couple of bets on. You see, right? And it normally comes through, but he only gives his prediction after the weigh in. You notice that? I don't know if you ever asked Julian that. And I've watched it since, body language, and I look at Joshua's body language there. He doesn't. It's like he's not. He's arsey because he's there, if that makes sense. And he's very prickly because he has to be there, and it's because of a pound note. And I think it's more for Eddie's benefit. You get what I'm saying?
Well, you've got to understand, Max, that Joshua, he's there. He's used to having easy questions said to him by Coogan and Eddie, and it's all rehearsed.
Exactly.
Once he were there, he was vulnerable, and he didn't want an answer. He wanted to know, comment it. So he said, "I'm only speaking to Eddie." He didn't know what to do because he was vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly right. And he's very. It's like so I listened to Terry Chaparama's podcast or like the video you put up, and it was quite interesting. And you see a load of other fighters of your same caliber, peers, who are basically the same, level as you, if not above. Instead of being just the big dog in a room, he's like a big fish in a big pond now in that room. Yeah, I'm saying so. He's out of his depth in some ways because he hasn't experienced it before. So all of a sudden you've got Wilder, Miller. I mean, Miller, I wouldn't say is the biggest of names, but then you've got Bivol in it. Yeah, you've got a lot of big names in that room. So, he's in unfamiliar territory. And to be honest, he's lost in Saudi already. He wants to recorrect that sort of loss with someone else.
Hey, what, Max? I couldn't understand the word you said. That it sounded like you were underwater. You sounded like Chisora.
Sounded like Chisora. That's too much sparring. So, what I'm trying to say is he's already lost in Saudi against Usyk. He wants to go out there and get a win out there now. Get back to a winning way. And also Wallin is a risky fight. It is a risky fight against a good southpaw. I think that is more of a 50-50 fight, if I'm honest. Go either way, that.
Do you think that Parker were trembling and Joshua in the presence of Wilder?
Yeah, I think so. Wilder is a strange one, isn't he? He would, and Fury's experienced it. And if someone says, "Oh, you got to face Wilder again," he'd rather not do it because he knows it's just going to be such a slog and a battle against him. You've got to nail him to the canvas.
Yeah.
Wilder just does not give up. He's one of those typical fighters who dies on the shield. He's like that. He does not. He doesn't have a give up mode in him. You get what I'm saying? So, when we talk about Billy Joe and against Canelo and gave up in the sixth, and we look at Dubois, gave up in. If he had an eye like that, he wouldn't give up. He just doesn't have it in his head. You know what I'm saying? So he's a unique one, Wilder.
Where do you see Derek War Chisora, aka Scooby Doo? Where do you see his role in next 6 months? Because he's 40 now.
Derek Boar Chisora.
They call him War because, I don't know when will that. Well, I suppose every fight he's in is a war, isn't it?
Is it? It's more of a bore. It bores me. If I'm honest, Russ, he just needs to hang it up. I mean, I know he'll get another fight out there. He's making. I think he's helping things make it happen. Because you hear him yelling at the back there, didn't you? The press conference, he was there. So, I don't know really. I'd like to see him again. Okay, let's see him against Fabio Wardley. Be a gatekeeper then, Derek, and let Wardley have you over in 2 rounds. And just knock him about. Wardley will. Wardley's that good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's decent, Wardley, isn't he?
I rate him. I think he'd be a world champion. Him. He's
got all his faculties, hasn't he?
Do you know what he did? He's got the whole package. I mean, when we say the package, like he was speaking at that Day of Reckoning. He comes across really spoken, really well, presented. He's not arrogant either. He's very humbling. And you can tell it's just genuine. And I think he's the future of our sport. People like him. The people like Moses Atama, he's the future of our sport. I'd love to see. I can't wait to see more of him. Like Adam Azim, these are the futures. These people at the top, like Derek, Dillian, they need to off. You know what I'm saying? So, they just need to go. I want to see these new lads come up now. Moses Atama excites me as well.
Yeah, he's one for the future, isn't he?
Quality.
Any update on your career, Max? Are you debating what to do? Are you getting a license again? What are you doing?
Well, I've just passed my brain scan. So
What are you, 1-1?
1-1. It should be 2-1. But that fight, my last fight with Jules, didn't count for some reason. I don't know. I haven't even really bothered it with a check.
So you're
But
one.
the next,
So you're 1-1 then, Max. Yeah.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is the next one will be in Britain, and it will be at your call. So I was going to fight.
Max.
So
everybody on notice.
And it will be on a Dennis's card at some point.
On a Big Ron show, on a Big Ron ticket deal.
Ticket deal. He likes his ticket deals, Ron, don't he?
Big Ron loves the ticket deal. Go on, Max. Well, listen, you take care, Max. Thanks for coming on.
No worries, mate. You take care as well. No worries, mate. See you in a bit.
Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka.